Hello and welcome to the Getting Loose podcast. Today is episode 18 and I'm joined by Ali Maclean. Ali, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening to my bullshit.
Mate, it's all right. So I met you just over a year ago and I was amazed by your intelligence, okay? Right, no. So I remember speaking to Paul when I was working in Healthy Box, and Paul said to me, Ali he's nuts, but he is intelligent. And the first conversation I had with you, I was like, he's intelligent, this man. So where's all this things about?
I don't know what I would describe that as intelligence, okay? So my definition of intelligence is someone who creates something new or comes up with a new idea or can see so far ahead or that they can predict something. I think I'm quite knowledgeable because I'm quite obsessive. So I'm obsessive and I'm crazy. And I have a lot of knowledge in my head because of craziness. But I don't. I wouldn't self-describe it as. I appreciate you calling me intelligent. I appreciate Paul calling me intelligent, but I see it as obsessiveness, personally. But yeah, it comes from just honestly, mate. It comes from like. So I've been competing in martial arts in general since I was like 8. But I haven't, until I moved to Carbon in 2012, I didn't have a wide range of coaches that could coach me on nutrition, strength, fighting, like jiu-jitsu, stuff like that, wrestling. I had to self-coach in a lot of areas, and so it made me self-develop for a long time. So I've read hundreds and hundreds of different books into various topics, and it's just the knowledge is there somewhere, but it's just really self-taught.
So as majority will probably pick up straight away, you're not from Liverpool.
No, Belfast.
But what brought you to Liverpool? I know there's a lot of connections between Liverpool and Ireland and Northern Ireland and stuff. There's a lot of connection and a lot of percentage of people in Liverpool have got Irish connections of some form, way, shape of. So what was the connection for you? Why Liverpool out of everywhere?
Well, that's an interesting story because I always had the intention to move to Liverpool because Chris Stringer, one of my teammates, moved here. So I didn't move here. He went here for like 6 weeks for a fight camp, and he came back to Belfast so much better. So I had the intention of always moving, but I didn't. And the reason I didn't, it was because I was going out with a girl at the time in Belfast. I didn't want to move and leave her. So I ended up getting picked for the Ultimate Fighter Season 15 live. And at that time, when I got picked for the Ultimate Fighter, we were breaking up. We weren't working out. Just happens like with me and females. So it didn't work out. And I ended up being in Vegas. I lost my fight. I did absolutely rubbish. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm not getting the coaching. I'm not at the level I need to be at. And the producer of the show came backstage and says, "Look, where are you flying off to? Are you going back to Belfast?" And I asked him, "Well, can I go anywhere?" And I was thinking I could go to Canada, I could go to New York, I could go anywhere in the world right then and there. And I thought, you know what? Send me a flight to Liverpool. And I went straight from Las Vegas, losing on the Ultimate Fighter, to Liverpool. And I've been here ever since. That's like 9 years ago.
Wow. So what like I watched the Ultimate Fighter now. Okay, I remember watching it years ago. I remember Rampage smashing the door up. Do you know what I mean? I remember years ago. I remember the Chuck Liddells and Shoyle Sonnen with having the little wrestling and stuff like that. What was that like for you being the Ultimate Fighter? Because obviously they did it UK versus US as well, didn't they?
Well, this one wasn't. This one was just the best, really. So everyone who fought my season Ultimate Fighter got a UFC contract. I'm the only person on that show yet to fight in the UFC.
You say You say
I'm the only person yet. Well, yet because I'm still here. I'm still healthy. Still got a chance. But I just because of luck with me, really more than anything. But so everyone last season Ultimate Fighter fought on the show. Al Iaquinta didn't even win the show. but he was one of like the runners up, you know. Yeah, James Crouch, he's a coach. He's like, he was on the upper fire. He got knocked out. He didn't even get on to the actual into a house. Drew Dober got knocked out. He didn't get into the house either. Oh, I think he lost in some way, shape, or form. He didn't get into the house. There's a lot of guys who's fighting in the UFC right now who are on my season that didn't even get into the house. That weren't even good enough at that stage, and I was one of them.
Because am I right thinking that James Krause and Michael Chaser was in that season?
Michael Chaser won it. James Krause was with me, but he didn't get into the house like myself. And there's a lot of reasons for that. You know, when we were backstage, we were told we were only getting, it was 1 5-minute round. It wasn't 2 5s you would normally get, or 3 5s, whatever you get normally get to get into the house. It was 1 5, so you had to go balls to the wall. So my game was to take people down and grind out a victory.
Yeah.
Stage in my career, I was a bit bored at that stage. I'm not like that now, but so in my head I was thinking, well, fuck that, I'm just going to scrap. 5 minutes, I'm just going to go balls to the wall, empty the gas tank, and just go for it. And it ended up being the wrong idea, because the guy I was fighting, a guy called Mike Rio, who was a decent wrestler. It wasn't anything special, to be honest. I should have beat him. He took me down, and I ended up getting scrambling, trying to get my feet. I got caught in a rear naked choke, and I just lost the fight. Just stupid decision making. And that highlighted to me, look, listen, I'm not getting the coaching he needs. That shouldn't have happened to me. And there's no one else to blame at that stage but yourself.
Yeah.
It's life by yourself, so you've got to take ownership of your own issues and your own problems. I turn and say, that was your fault, you coached me, but it wasn't. It was my fault, because I didn't reach out to the right people. I had everything. I had the opportunity to train in Liverpool earlier, but I didn't.
And that was due to the relationship and not wanting to break up. And
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So as a highlight reel, fighters don't get fucking relationships.
And for anyone who might not understand the level of this, Alec Winter fought Khabib on short notice for the belt too long ago, a couple of years ago maybe. So that's the level of
and he didn't even win the show.
And that's the level of talent that we're talking about here. And I've seen you train, and anything, and the toughness and resilience. Because I've seen it happen when someone goes down and they'll stay down, but that's not you. That's not you.
Well, I'm a lot better than what I was as well. Like I'm not. Yeah. I'm light years better than what I used to be. And being like some people do fighting for like the Instagram pictures and like the promotion and stuff like that. I literally did MMA. I started MMA. I didn't even know it was MMA. I thought it was people fighting at the back of a fucking warehouse. I didn't know it was MMA. I didn't know what it was. I knew it was bare knuckle. I knew you taught to fight, and I knew you got to fight. And that's all I knew it was. I didn't know it was a sport. Like, I didn't get into this for Instagram or anything. I got it in because I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight with no.
I say, if you were doing it when you were 8, then doing
well, judo. I did judo when I was 8. I started MMA at 15. So,
but you mentioned you moved to Calbon, and obviously you now under Colin, and you've got a fight scheduled, right? And I briefly talked to you about this before we went on air. I feel sorry, and I'm not taking away the skill set from your opponents one bit, but a caged animal like yourself who's been locked up for this long, you let him loose, it's gonna go big mental.
That can go either way though. Like sometimes too hyped up and too angry and too aggressive, and either blow your load or gas out early, or you can sort of like get caught with a shot early. Yeah. This guy you can't do that against because he's tall, he's got power, he fights at welterweight, he's an ex South African world champion. Okay. So he's not a slouch, and I don't this with the intention of thinking he's a slouch. I come in
of course,
showing my full skill set of what I've developed over the last 5 years of being inactive. I've been training every day still, so yeah, so I appreciate you saying that. I have the same mindset, obviously, because I'm biased. I am me, but I also understand that he is really.
You're not being complacent and underestimating your opponents, but yet again, you know your strengths. You know your strengths, and you know you're going to go out there wanting the win. and if you get a finish, then that's a bonus on it. Do you know what I mean? But ultimately, it's that win that you're after. And so, am I right in thinking you were 155 Ultimate Fighter? No, 170 or one.
I was 155,
Yeah,
170.
so you're moving upper weights now as well.
Sorry, yeah, so I'm going up to welterweight. There's a few reasons for that, but like I walk around quite heavy anyway. I walk around like if I'm not properly training, I'm walking around about 200 pounds easy.
Yeah.
So it's like even 170 is a cut for me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with like as far as fighting, this Felipe at welterweight, I've been spending the last 5 years rehabbing an injury, and that requires building a lot of muscle. So I'm going to be walking around a little bit heavier, and the weight cut's got to be a little bit different. So I think it's intelligent to sort of get to the stage of lightweight again, because that won't be an easy weight cut. It never is anyway. It never is, but there's no point ruining a performance because of a weight cut.
No, and it's one of them things where a lot of people will try and cut too much. Like for example, Khabib walks around at 200, and he goes to 155. And the amount of times that they're saying, "Oh, he's going to miss weight, he's going to struggle," and don't get me wrong, his performance have never been short of unbelievable. But a lot of people will sacrifice their performance for that advantage. And Figueiredo did it on the weekend, in my opinion, because he's such a big
he's
dude for that weight. And I think that cut, because he had 40 seconds left on the clock to weigh in. And I will be honest, I think he missed weight, and that's why they put their thing around him.
Didn't even see that, but did he? Okay. I wouldn't be surprised. He is huge at that weight class. Yeah. He's also shredded as well.
Yeah.
There's not have to come off him.
No.
But I can understand from his perspective of what to cut down on weight. And Brazilians are quite known for it. Brazilians cut a lot of weight more than any other nation I've been to and trained. I've trained all around the world. Brazilians cut the most amount of weight, and they think it gives them most advantage. And it's wrong. It doesn't. I have cut as much as 14 kilo in a week of fight. Like I've cut a lot of weight before, and it ruins your performance. But the thing is, if you're in incredible shape, it won't make a massive difference. But in the back of your mind, it'll always be like a sort of question mark behind whether you can do the rounds properly. Yeah. In training, you know you can do the rounds, but when it comes to fight, because of that massive weight cut, if you have a question mark over whether you're fit enough, it's not a good thing. And it puts doubt in your mind, and that affects your performance alone, just mentally.
So do you feel now that you're going to 170 is going to benefit your performance as well as everything around it as well? The not worrying too much about the weight. I know you're going to have to obviously cut weight, but it won't be as bad as if you went to 155. You're having that little bit more leeway. Obviously, it's 15 pounds extra. Do you feel that your performance should be benefited, not hindered, if that makes sense?
I think it'll benefit me. I think I'll be a lot more explosive on the night, which is a good thing. But honestly, it doesn't make a difference to me. It doesn't make. I've been doing this a long time, so I don't think it makes a massive difference for me personally. Like look, you can tell me to fight a featherweight, and I'll make the weight and I'll perform. I'm not really arsed. I'll find a way to do it. So I'm not really. It's not something I'm thinking about, if I'll be honest.
Yeah. And the thing is, I know you're not joking.
No, I'm not. I'm not any man alive. It doesn't matter if he's 155, 170, 150. If you offer me a fight, if Cole said to me, "Look, I've got a middleweight there for you," I'd fight him. It's not really. I'm not really worried about the weight. Like, he's got 2 arms, 2 legs. He's a human being.
But that's a scary mentality, though, isn't it? That's a scary mentality. Like, obviously, as a fighter, you need it. Okay, you need that mentality. If you go in with like, "Oh, he's bigger than me," that you can have doubts. That's where your performance will go. Even you can go into a shock state.
Yeah, no, I like beating the guys. Like, we've got a guy in here called Min, and he absolutely beats the piss out of me. But like, if he needs a partner, I'll be the first one to wrestle him. I can't do go against him. He's too big. But it doesn't really matter to me. I like fighting bigger people. Like, if I was working on the door on a Saturday night and you were a heavyweight and you were trying to get my bar and you were making a mug of me, we're having a fight.
Yeah.
We're flex you on your head in the concrete. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. As the same with the fight. Like, it's not always a good thing career-wise to be giving stuff. That's why you have coaches to keep you in line and say, here, you fight this guy and this guy. But I'm not, as far as my mindset is concerned, it shouldn't be worried about who they are. I don't care. You're, Paul Kelly, same. Like, he'll fight any man alive. He'll fight his own shadow. That's why it should be. Look, that's why he's so good. That's why he's so good in his mindset. That's one thing I've learned from him for the years, is that I have it anyway. But like, you sort of increases your own mindset when you hear someone like Paul talking about his passion of fighting and how game he is, and like, that's what you want. That's a proper fighter. That's the right mindset to have.
And as you say, it's before the era of the likes and the shares, and it's before that, well before that. It's the old school fighting. It's the old school. I mean, if the thing, and this, it's really weird. I remember having this conversation with Paul. I said to him, 10 years ago, you could have a fight in a bar and hear nothing from it. You probably go out the next weekend, see the same fella, shake his hand, nothing's happened, done.
Yeah.
But now you have a fight in a bar. It's like this, people like this. Cameras everywhere, everyone's like, and you probably, you get done for X, Y, and Z, and it becomes, and this is when a lot of crime, I think this is why a lot of knife crime is happening now, because people are scared, they don't know how to look after themselves. And
I think that's why, I was going to say, like, you just made me think there, like, that's why it should be even more important to do MMA and martial arts and sports. It stops people, not only the people who want to fight, that are going to do it in bars and end up getting arrested or in trouble. It gives them an outlet, because you're a man and you're like a proper masculine man you're going to love to fight. It's just natural. You're just going to want to fight. You're going to one up every other man alive. You're just going to want to. It's just who you are as a man. It's competitive nature. You're going to want to fight. And on top of that, it also leaves people who don't want to fight safer, because the people who do want to fight then they have an outlet for the shit, So I think as we go more into PC culture and we go into more camera phones and everyone like being a little bitch about getting hit in the face, I think it's more important to keep martial arts alive and MMA alive, and sort of.
I think it should be complementary in schools. To be learning some form, even if it's just striking against bags.
Fuck that. Everyone should be punched in the face regularly from a young age. Everyone should have a dig in the face. You know what I mean? Like, so many kids now are brought up without having. I'm probably gonna look bad in your fucking podcast here.
Listen,
so many kids are brought up never having had a dig in their mouth before in their life, and they wake up with that. So yeah, they're all like they're privileged, and like they're like. Do you know what I mean? They feel entitled to stuff, and like, hell the shit, cunts. There's a dig in mouth. You know what I mean? I don't get it. Like, that's not how I was brought up. Like, it's.
And to be fair, like where I used to live, it's known for being quite a rough place on a night out, and doing it's all rugby lads and doing you tasted your own blood before you're 13, and and I think a lot of it should be like that in a way. I'm not saying it's nice tasting your own blood, but it's not the worst thing that's going to happen. But it sets you up as well.
Well, I think martial arts in general, when you're a young age, it teaches you that you're, number one, that you're not made of glass and you can't take some damage, and you can defend yourself. But number two, it also teaches you like humility and stuff like that, where there is always going to be someone better than you. There is always going to beat you, and that teaches you a little bit more respect in how you speak to people and how you present yourself to the world. It just makes you a better person. You have to bow. You have to be taught respect. That's why it's so important. It's less about, a lot of time, like when kids do martial arts, and I'm talking to just some martial arts that are a bit shit, like say karate or traditional jiu-jitsu, stuff that isn't really that useful in MMA unless it's really tailored. The useful thing about that is it teaches respect. They do get it in the mouth, and they're doing it from a young age, and that is more important than school, because they won't get that from school. They won't get that from a teacher who has to follow like a system that's put in place by a government. PC is hell. Like, it's more important now than ever that kids do recreational activities that sort of teach proper self-respect and discipline. Do you know what I mean?
That was the word there, discipline, because I think that's why a lot of the things that's happening is because no one's got discipline. There is no discipline. Back 20, 30 years ago, I mean, and I'm not saying this, that, and the other, but if someone wasn't listening, you'd be in a restaurant or something, and someone wasn't listening, they'd get a backhand in the middle of the restaurant.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah,
but now, you wouldn't see anything of that nature, and if there was, it'd be an outroar.
Oh, it would, absolutely.
But yet again, the new generation are the cockiest people ever.
Oh, bad. Yeah.
And I think it's because they a lot of them feel protected, because of how we're moving forward as a generation, and the YouTube generation and the Instagram generation. And like, for example, and I'm going to put it out, the Paul brothers, okay, they're a great example of someone who has no discipline. And to steal a hat off Floyd Mayweather, he should have been battered there and then for no discipline, but it's also a vital hit that he was after.
So, my opinion of Paul Brothers is different than most people's. Paul Brothers, yeah, because I like them. Okay. I like them. So here's the thing. Yes, the rich, but I don't know their backstory. I don't know if they were born rich. I don't know if they're from a privileged background. They might be, they might not be. Here's the thing. He didn't need to fight Floyd Mayweather.
No.
He did it because of marketing. It's good marketing.
Yeah. No, I get that.
And he made a lot of money from it. To steal a hat, like, you're gonna do things in marketing in order to get yourself ahead, in order to get eyes on you. You have to do things that people talk about you, whether it's good or bad, whether it's controversial or it's a good thing. You need to do something controversial, and that's all they do. And they are experts at that. That's how they built their YouTube channel for so many years, because they did stuff that no one else did. And I think now, just because they stole hats. So yes, I think discipline, yes, but I think a lot of the time people can't perceive what's online as being real. And we can relate to that as coaches, as online coaches, because sometimes the things we see online are not fucking real. Like, they probably, like that real life. If you meet Logan Paul or Jake Paul in real life, they'd probably be dead respectful to. They'd probably be dead respectful to, 100%. But we can see that through the camera because that's their YouTube persona, that they're trying to get hits and likes, and they make money off that. If they were just like me and you and going, oh, thank you, Floyd, oh, thank you for the opportunity, wants to watch that. I don't want to watch that. I want to see him mug Floyd Mayweather off and then get battered for it. Do you know what I mean? So
I get that.
Do you know what I mean? And then, like, because as a coach, we can relate to that as well. How many times have you seen Instagram models and Instagram and like, you look at them and you see their picture on their feed and they look like they have a super slim waist, and then you go to their story and they look like a mess. I'm not few ones I was looking at, and the difference is massive. We can only like speculate how that's possible, but it's, you can't always.
And I half agree to a point with you, to be fair, because when it happened, I said straight away, so the two brothers have made millions from hits, okay? They'll always hit. So one of the first videos they were known about was when they went to the woods in America where people killed themselves and stuff.
I wouldn't say that was the first one they were known for, but that's the first one that went mainstream and they got in trouble for it. Yeah, and I don't agree to that, to be fair. That was...
I agree. I don't at all.
But there could have been a classy way to approach that video, because I think it is important that people realize that in Japan, people do hang and kill themselves in woods so regularly. Like, that's a fucking regular occurrence. And there's actually, I forget the story, it was out of Ross Chesley's book, and there's actually a marathon in Japan where if you fail a marathon, you have to hang yourself in the woods.
You know what, I've read the book.
Can you remember? Is it a marathon every day? It's a marathon every day. If you feel hang yourself.
Yeah.
Mate, listen, I'm a bit extreme. I think that's class. I don't know if I would ever do it, but I think it's class, like that sort of mindset of, I am going to finish this marathon every single day, or I'm a disrespect to my family. I'm going to hang myself because I'm not good enough. That's a bit extreme, but it's like, that's the kind of obsessive and dedication you need, I think, to achieve any sort of goal. I think if people had that mindset towards achieving goals, maybe slightly less, like not obviously wanting to kill yourself, but that sort of like dedication, sort of drive is incredible. That's inspirational. But I think the Paul brothers could have
done it a little
presented it a little bit better, not laugh on camera and stuff like that. You can't really do that because at the end of the day, that's someone's family member they've lost. I mean,
of course, and this is what I mean is that they've created hits all through, and we'll see this now for the next 10 years. Okay, they are going to make millions. The fact that the fact that they're fighting, like, don't be surprised in the next 5 years if you see Conor McGregor in that ring with him. Don't be surprised if you see the likes of GSP, someone ridiculous, because they bring money. And it's going to happen, unfortunately. And like it or not, it's going to happen because they're brilliant at what they do.
If I was in the position of like GSP, Conor McGregor, or anyone like that, and I was getting paid like 20 million or
20 mil
behind the books to do a boxing fight that may or may not win because I'm not a boxer, I would take it. Why wouldn't you? Because for myself trying to win it, and you got to try and achieve your other goals first. So obviously become UFC champion and stuff like that. But if you've done that and you've kind of reached the peak of where you are, why wouldn't you take 20 million? Like Tyron Woodley probably won't win this fight. Tyron Woodley throws one punch and then moves. Like Tyron Woodley's whole game in MMA was back off and throw an overhand.
Yeah,
that was his game. He doesn't combination punch. He can't combination punch because I don't know if this is technically correct. He's very muscle bound.
Yeah.
But he's very powerful. So he's more or less of a combination hitter and more of a pot shotter, and landing good punches that are sort of sporadic and sort of off the cusp, good timing. If he catches Jake, isn't it? Then okay, he might win the fight, but the chances of him winning the boxing match are very, very slim. I'm just being honest about that. But you know what? Good for you. Make your money. Make your money because he's not getting it from MMA.
No, and it's
don't do it. It's like
you'll probably see a lot more MMA, and he brings the question up all the time to Dana White: pay your fighters properly, and they wouldn't be doing this. And there is that question of obviously the split wage. But
I have a different opinion on that as well. Now I might be hypocrite here, but
go on. No, I'd like go on.
I'll take my money if I'm getting off of boxing, but people always play victim with the money game as well, though.
Okay.
So, like, we were talking about extreme ownership. We were talking about extreme ownership before. About I forget what we were talking about. We were talking about like taking ownership of your shit. You've got to take ownership of your shit, and it's the same with your money in MMA. If you've got a massive platform promoting you as a fighter, and you haven't got a product to sell, you're a failure as a business person. If you want to make money, you don't do MMA. You start your own business. Now, if you do MMA and you are successful at it, then you better have a product to sell to your fans. So, like, for example, I'm an online coach. Fight Camp is my product, and I'll keep developing that throughout my career.
Yeah.
Be a product I'll have to sell to people who want to lose weight, who are watching MMA, who are interested, who want a solution to lose weight permanently, but also, like, not sacrifice their life.
Yeah.
That's I have to sell. That's where I have to make money. That's where I'll make my money. I'm not worried about making money from MMA. I'll fight for free. I'll fight anything in the world for free. I don't do it for money. And I think so many fighters go in it with the intention of, I want to make this amount of money. I want to make this amount of money. Conor McGregor made most of his money from his own businesses because he's got his head screwed on.
I was going to say his head screwed on.
Yeah. So many fighters don't have the intelligence of like how to make money. Like they're just relying paycheck to paycheck. And they're playing the victim card, and that's not the case. Listen, so many fighters would do well if they built their own YouTube channel and got eyes on them. They make money from YouTube, but they just don't because they don't want to put the work in. They want to play the victim card. And fighters, I think fighters a lot of the time are less like that, playing the victim card, but like at the same time, there's still that victim mentality of everyone has it, where like I'm entitled because I fight and like UFC. 50 million and I only got like 100 grand. Like, well, no, because like, why do you deserve anything? Like, you're being given an opportunity. If it wasn't for that promotion, you wouldn't be fighting at all. If it wasn't for you, none of us would have an MMA career if it wasn't for the UFC. So they can dictate what the fuck they want. They can pay you whatever they want because you have no choice in the matter. You have no equity in the company. You have no nothing. You're just you're an employee. So if you want to go from an employee to something else to actually making money, well, then you've got to start your own business and like capitalize upon their platform they're giving you. They're giving you a platform. They're giving you free marketing. All you have to do is have a product to sell. Like Till's a fucking, he's brilliant at it. Till is amazing at it. He's constantly looking for new businesses, ideas. He's constantly promoting his own products. That's how you make money.
Yeah, because you mean it was the raw dogs, it was the watches, it was the t-shirts, is everything.
He's a businessman. He's just like
exactly.
Like me and you over met. He's a ball bag, and he's a nutcase. But he's smart. He's not
screwed on. He's very screwed on.
He's switched on. He's a Scouser, mate. There's no Scousers. I've never met a Scouser who isn't switched on. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Scousers are switched on, and he's switched on. It's
the same with the likes of Dustin. He's now got an organization, a foundation that ultimately makes him money. I know it's for charity, but there's obviously,
I don't know how that works, but yeah, either way, it's a noble thing for him to do. Either way, it's a noble
if he's selling t-shirts and stuff like that, then he's definitely going to take some cut off that t-shirt. And stuff. I mean, and I get that sort of side. And the thing is, everyone wants to be Connor, okay, with this multi-million, billion-pound platform.
Yeah.
But as you've mentioned, he has marketed himself first of all, and now people see through other people trying to be like that instead of just being authentic and just going, right, this is my product, this is what I do, and selling that. Doing there was it Masvidal who's now selling alcohol as well. He's got his own.
Yes, he's got his own something. Yeah, but he also has his own online course on how to defend yourself.
He's also got an organization now, Game Bred Fighting.
It's like an online course to show you how to like defend yourself and how like an instructional, like an online course. So he's got his head screwed on. That's what you have to do.
Last night there was an actual bare knuckle organization that Masvidal organized. Like it's his organization, like the UFC, but it's an actual game bred fighting and it's bare knuckle fighting.
Okay.
Jason Knight was on it and Brock Weaver. Okay. So he's actually built an organization himself now. So he's now paying fighters from that.
Good.
And as you say, it's been screwed on. It's been a little bit different to the last person.
Yeah, he's got.
And I've never thought of it as UFC giving them a platform or giving fighters a platform. Never thought of it in like that. And a lot of people who might listen to this might go, fair enough. Because I have conversations with people all the time about boxing pay and UFC pay. People are like, oh, why is UFC not paying as much? But I've never thought of it in that light.
Well, it's boxing's different because it's less. Don't speak out of term here and say something's wrong, but like UFC is a company that hires fighters.
Yeah.
Whereas boxing is more like management coming into a promotion and going, here's my fighter, let's negotiate a rate.
So boxing's more promoting the fight. The UFC are promoting the brand. Is that right?
Well, you're joining their company. Think of like boxing is kind of like you going into like an open marketplace.
Yeah.
And having your product and going here, here's my product. I want this amount for it. And they go, okay, no, I'll give you this amount. And I'll go, no, I'll give you this amount. Whereas UFC is going into a workplace and going, I want to join your company. And they give you that's like, it's a completely different marketplace. So people are comparing apples to oranges. They're completely different. It's just completely different. Yes. And maybe they should get paid more. But I mean, that's not going to solve anything. Like they either pay you, you don't. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to change it. It's their company. They can decide whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I don't care. You shouldn't really be bothered about it because the people that are moaning about being paid not enough money aren't in it because they love the sport. I'm in it because I love the sport.
Yeah.
So if I want to make money off the back of it, I'm going to make money from my own intelligence and how I can market myself and my businesses. Not because of handout. I don't want someone to give me a handout. Look, listen, if they want to pay me $2 million, that's fine. Give me $2 million. But like, I'd also rather have the intelligence to go. Well, you've given me the position to make it myself.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people play that victim mentality with as far as money goes. I think if you want to make the money, it's there. You gotta have a business mind for it.
Yeah, that's very. So referring back to what I said at the start about you being intelligent, see, you're defining it yourself here.
Well, I've yet to implement. I've yet to implement it myself. Well, I'm implementing it myself in my own business right now. But as far as like people can, it's like a quote I seen the other day. I don't want to butcher the quote, but it's why me saying all this. But until I have a fairy tale ending of my life, people are never going to listen to my advice.
No,
So you never hear a fairy tale story never ends with the guy failing and being like in a position where he's in the dumps and never like recovers and never like. Do you know what I mean? I'm in a position right now where I've got injured. I'm still like grinding every single day until I get to a position where I'm like a millionaire and successful. People aren't going to listen to my advice.
No, of course.
I know that's correct, but people aren't going to listen to that until I get to a position where I'm like where people perceive as success. Listen, I'm successful in my eyes because I'm happy every day. I get to wake up and do whatever I love. I don't really need to work unless I want to. So I'm in a good position where I'm happy with myself in my life. But until I'm in a position where I'm a millionaire, people won't like listen to me and go, okay, he's writing what he's saying. So I know I'm writing what I'm saying, but
yeah.
at the same time, I don't expect people to listen to it because you need to have a fairy tale ending, just highlight it to people's heads, like, no, hold on, I do know actually what I'm talking about. So I'm in the process of trying to achieve that right now.
I think you'd be quite surprised.
Being successful, getting inside UFC, get my career back on track, that sort of thing.
So you've just mentioned what I was going to ask you next. You coming back from the injury and having a scheduled fight, is this a last shot or is it a shot towards the UFC?
It's never a last shot, and it's never like, you know what I mean. It's just a continuation. I said this the other day to someone. I never not. It was never. I never removed it from my mind. It's never like I quit from it. Like It's been on my mind every day for the last 5 years since my last fight. I tried quitting. I tried stopping because it drove me crazy, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. Which highlights to me like it's what I was put on this earth to do. No matter how hard it is, no matter how many setbacks I get, I was put on this earth to fight. Because I can't get away from it. I can't. I'm addicted to it. So yeah, obviously it's always the goal to get UFC, to be a world champion. Everyone knows the goals. They don't need to say them out loud. Whether they're achievable or not, that's irrelevant. Well, the main thing for me to focus on is me to be the best version of me. It's the process. I don't think of the outcome. Think of the process to get there. So I need to be focusing on what I need to do today to get better, to become the best version of me. And if I do that every single day, then eventually the outcome will be achieved. I think so many people focus on the outcome, the last goal. They're like, I want to be UFC champion. I want to get a UFC contract. I want to do this. I want to do that. And they're focused so much on the end goal at the top tier that they don't think of the process to get there. So they get anxious. They get anxious about what they want to achieve because they're thinking of the future too much. All I'm thinking about right now is today what I need to do to get better. And tomorrow, what do I need to get better? And then Monday, what do I need to get better? I do that every single day. And if I get in that sort of mindset and I do that, then the end goal sort of takes hold of itself. In theory, there's always going to be setbacks, and I've had a lot of them. So, but I'm prepared for
that. Let's fast forward then. Let's say a couple of. I mean, we've got into the UFC now. Who would you like to fight in the UFC then? I'm not like going to post a little clip just of you calling someone out or anything, but who would be your top three in, I'd say 170? Obviously, they're big dudes, but who would be?
To be honest, I'll probably be fighting at 155. Like I'm fighting 170 this fight, but I'm not really a real welterweight. Okay. I'm big welter, not small, I'm walking around 200 pounds, but I'd probably fight a lightweight.
Who do you like to fight with?
I don't have any. So there's a few people I want to fight. Number one, I want to fight like the world champion. So it doesn't matter who it is. Whoever's got that belt, that's who you want to fight. It doesn't matter who it is. People focus on opponents a lot of the time in fights, and it's less about an opponent and more about it's just a body. It's just a body that moves slightly differently. Like less focus on the name, more focus on you're just fighting a body that moves slightly differently. So whoever has that belt is who I'd want to fight. Do you know what I mean? That's because that's the end goal. So that's always going to be number one.
Yeah.
But number two, if I had to actually put names on people, number one, Justin Gaethje.
Wow, that would be ridiculous.
You just know he doesn't take a step back and just loves the fucking scrap, and that is fun as hell. That's class. He's going to hit me in the head, and I'm going to hit him in the head, and you're just going to have a scrap. Old school Justin Gaethje had some of the best fights. He was the most exciting fighter that ever lived. The old Justin Gaethje, before he started becoming intelligent and learning how to fight properly. But like, he's a sick fight. Number two, Michael Chandler. That's a sick fight. He loves banging people. Loves wrestling. That's a hard fight. That's a good fight. I'd love to see that. I meet everyone. I'd name names all day. Khabib. I want to fight Khabib. Obviously, I'd love to challenge myself against someone who people perceive as being so good. You know what I mean?
Because you are a high-level jiu-jitsu fighter. You're a wrestler as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's not like you just stand and just walk forward. You have got a ridiculous ground game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to see where you are with the likes of, I'd love to see you and Khabib. Because
I sound like a dickhead calling out UFC fighters right now because I don't even have the contract. Do you know what I mean? I haven't fought in 5 years, so you're making me look like an old man. But like, honestly, I'm not scared to admit these things because as a fighter, you should want to fight the best.
Yeah, no.
Why wouldn't you want to fight Khabib? Why wouldn't you want to fight Justin Gaethje and like a Chandler? Why wouldn't you fight Charles Oliveira? Like another good fight. Edson Barboza. He's dropped the featherweight now, but I'd love to fight him. So principle. Like there's so many people like Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, all of them, everyone. That's why I want to get signed because it's less about for me. It's more because I want to fight the best. Like I've never stepped back from a hard fight. I used to enter 4-man tournaments, 8-man tournaments. I used to fight twice in the same night. Like it's less about like accolades for me and more. I just like to fight. I do like to fight, and sometimes. Like everyone get nervous before fights, like, but I proper enjoy it. Like I love 4-man tournaments, you know. So
what's that? So when you're sat in the change rooms, right? You've got your gloves on, and listen, I know you're already visualizing August the 8th. You've got your gloves wrapped up.
Yep.
You're putting your gum shield in. What goes through your head?
It's been that long, I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. I can't remember to tell you, but I can tell you what is in my mind of what to remind myself, and that's like nerves and excitement are exactly the same.
Yeah,
they're the same. There's a very thin line. The only thing that changes nerves and excitement is how you perceive it in your own head.
Okay.
If you were going to go down to Christmas Day, and you're like, oh, Santa's come, your heart would elevate, you'd have butterflies in your stomach, you'd be like, oh, I can't wait. But if you also were like, fuck, someone's just robbed the house and they're going to fucking kill my family, your heart rate would go, you'd be fucking, oh, fuck. It's, your body reacts the same way. It's just your brain, obviously, that's completely different. Understandably, if someone's robbing your house and Christmas, is two different things. But you know what I mean? Obviously, two completely different scenarios. But the way your body reacts, is my point, is exactly the same. Yeah. Now, it's the same with fighting. You can easily perceive that as like, okay, you're excited. It's what you do every day. You do it every day. You do it twice, 3 times a day. You've lived your life for it. That is excitement. It's just because you've got the pressure of a crowd and the potential of a loss, your ego getting fucking battered. That's the only thing holding you back. So you've got to enjoy it. So for me, coming into August 8th, it's more about enjoying the process, and being very grateful for the opportunity to compete again. The gratitude I have is incredible right now. Like I'm just grateful that I have a fight confirmed. I mean, just having that confirmed, even if it doesn't go ahead, even if something happens with COVID, I am just thankful that it was even confirmed right now. That's how grateful I am. So, and I'm living every day that sort of attitude of gratitude rather than focusing on outcome.
Yeah, no, you've got such a strong mindset and strong mentality throughout all of it, because a lot of people get carried away, and they might take a loss and you might not hear off them again. They'll just go off the radar completely, and it's heard of. A lot of fighters aren't able to handle losses and stuff, and they're like protected fighters and hand-picked opponents and stuff, and it's a very strong mindset to have in just being grateful and just enjoying the process. Whatever happens, happens. If you get a contract, cut a contract. We don't, and we still enjoying the process and the journey that you're on. We've got a few questions that's been posted in. We've kind of covered one of them. Why choose to live in Liverpool? We kind of have covered that, to be honest with you. But why did you stay in Liverpool then? Obviously, we've mentioned you coming over and everything, but like you mentioned 9 years ago, you came over, but you're still here.
Well, I am a very loyal person.
Yeah.
I'm very loyal. I won't. So if I have a barber, I won't see anyone else but that barber, even if he's busy. I'll go a month without seeing anyone else. I won't see another barber. You will never meet another man as loyal as me. So when I came over to Liverpool, Colin took me under his wing, let me in the gym, let me live in the back of the gym. I still stay in the back of the gym. Like those who don't know, like I fucking, there's not a man alive as dedicated to the sport as me. And he allowed me, he took me under like his team, his tuition. He taught me, he changed my life. He changed my personality, who I am as a person. My personality's changed to reflect like how he coaches and how he is. My ground game, like stand up wise, he's changed the game. Obviously, he's a world class Thai coach, but not only that, the way he's taught me how to grapple has gone through the roof because his tuition. So everything in my life right now that I've developed personally, mentally, physically is down to him.
Yeah.
So until the day I either die or the day that I get thrown out of the gym, I'll stay loyal to Colin and Carbon. So that's why. Just down to Colin and the gym and the lads. Like they're like family to me, so it is what it is.
Yeah, it's one of them, and it's the level of class that's in the gym as well. It's not just like just a couple of pros here and there. It is the level of class that you are competing with daily, and that will just. You know what I mean?
I step on the mat. I've stepped on the mat. Michael Grundy's there. Aspinall's there. Darren Till's there. But not only that, you've got like kids like Kane Locker and you've got like Rafi, you've got like little balls, you've got Stringer, you've got Killer's Row, you've got a plethora of unreal fighters every day on the mat. And I still remember back in the day when I was like starting at 17 years old, I used to come to the morning classes in Belfast and I'd be on the mat praying that someone would show up to train with me. I'd be praying. I'd be saying, please, if someone come in the morning to train with me, so I didn't have to do weights again or like do fucking some training by myself. Do you know what I mean? I still remember in days where I had to text people during the day and go, do you want to roll? Or do you want to do some pass? Do you want to wrestle? And I used to text people every day to see if they wanted to train. And I used to travel from 9 o'clock in the fucking morning to 9 o'clock at night to try and fit 3 sessions in with different people. Sometimes I'd get 4 in. Sometimes I'd go to a boxing gym and I'd go and do some wrestling here and there, and then I'd do some weights and then I'd go somewhere else. So I'd be traveling all over the country. I'd have a train pass and I used to travel from Belfast to Lisburn to Belfast every single day, 9 in the morning to 9 at night. Sorry, earlier than that, I used to set off about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. I used to have like 5 or 6 meals in my bag, and it would all be cold because there would be no microwave to stick them in. So I'd have like a roast dinner that I would eat cold because it was leftovers from the night before that my mum would leave me. And so people don't realize like the opportunity there is here in Liverpool. It's incredible. So why would it go away from that? Why? This is what I developed my life around. I want this to be my life. I want to be the best version of me. The only thing that's important in my life right now is becoming the very best martial artist and hardest to kill cunt alive right now. So that's what my goal is. Everything else can be fit into place. Like I don't need a fancy apartment. I don't need fancy like car. I don't need to go on fancy holidays. What I need to do is develop my skill set and be the best I can be. What I have to use.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people could take a little bit away from that in the dedication side of things. A lot of people be like, "Oh, I've been on weight loss now for 2 weeks, not seeing results, quit." Do you know what I mean? And the dedication that you've shown there, and I say I know how hard you train. it's not just like a little session of an hour. It's 2, 3, 5, 6 hours. I mean, all throughout the day. Probably train 8 hours some days, I'm sure, if you split 4 sessions. And it's as you say, it's not just rolling with a white belt that's on his first session, or rolling with someone who's never wrestled, or having a boxing match with someone who's wearing head guard and just tapping with like the Olympics. Just, it's not that. It is the best of the best, and you get people you get people from all over coming into the gym. I mean, to wrestle and train and be a part of the best with you lot.
We have the British wrestling team. We have the British wrestling team that comes down every week. Cam Smith came down to spar Till.
Yeah.
I mean, we have all the UFC fighters that come in regularly, all the fighters that come in regularly. Like, this is a hot spot for, if you want to actually train hard, you want to actually get better, this is where people come, because everything is here. And whether that's striking, jiu-jitsu, or wrestling, everything is here. It's the most well-rounded gym in the world, in my opinion, and it's like created the most homegrown talent out of any gym anywhere, in my opinion. But especially in the UK, it's just unrivaled. There's not no one even has an inch on this gym.
100%. I think is it 9 or 10 UFC fighters from Colburn now?
All homegrown. Yeah.
All from that gym. It's not like they've been brought in.
Colin's tuition. Look, listen, if you want to get in UFC, you train under Colin and you do what he says.
Yeah. And I think that last bit there, do as he says. A lot of people will, when you finish a round, go and have a drink, not until he says. When he says you go for a drink, that's when you go for a drink. And it's that level of discipline and respect that he's got from every single one in that gym is ridiculous.
He's the scariest person I've ever met in my life. I'm not scared of any man alive apart from him.
Do you know what? You're the second person I've heard say that now.
Third. Yeah, I honestly, I'll fight any man alive. I'm not scared of any man. I'll have a go with any man. But if Colin says, right, Ali, I've got a body, I would just say, right, okay, Colin, I'll lie on the ground, I'll take my beating. There would be no competition. Wouldn't be able to fight back. Shit scared of him. The only man I'm scared of, and the only man I'll let. He want to kill me. That's okay, fair enough.
So one of the questions last week, or a week before, sorry, I was discussing with someone who was into Japanese jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
And comparing it to Brazilian jiu-jitsu. The question is, Brazilian jiu-jitsu or Japanese jiu-jitsu, which is more practical? So I'm thinking this will be more
Brazilian. Not even a shadow of a doubt. Brazilian is just like, Japanese jiu-jitsu is like the old school way.
Yeah.
And back in the day, that's where Brazilian jiu-jitsu comes from. Japanese jiu-jitsu, that's where it originates from. But Brazilian jiu-jitsu is a more evolved version of Japanese jiu-jitsu, because it started Japanese jiu-jitsu and then the Brazilians turned that into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and they created a system that works a lot better. It's more effective. It's more effective on the street, and also it's been time tested in like the UFC and jiu-jitsu competitions in Brazil. So without a shadow of doubt, there's no comparison. I've trained a black belt in Brazil. I've trained a black belts in Japanese jiu-jitsu, and I'm not being disrespectful, but they're shit. No, they are. It is what it is. It's not effective. You're not. If any Japanese jiu-jitsu guys want to prove me wrong, they're welcome to come to Carbon and try it, because they're shit.
I love it. What's the best martial art when it comes to self-defense? Wrestling.
Believe it or not, people are going to say boxing, they're going to say Thai, they're going to say jiu-jitsu. Listen, see, when you pick someone up off the ground and slam them on their head, there's no more fight. I've worked in the door since I was like 19, so like 11 years now. Never really had to punch anyone. Choked a few people out. Well, choked a lot of people out. But the number one thing, if there's an issue, you lift someone up and you slam them on their head. And as long as you hit them on like the upper back and neck area, not the top of their head, they won't die. But as long as you slam them properly, there's never any fight for them, because people aren't used to getting slammed on their head. So I stay wrestle all day. But again, it depends on the context of it, because if you're fighting with a group of people, you can't grapple. So if you're fighting, you're defending yourself against 2 or 3 people, then you're gonna have to get good at boxing or Muay Thai. If you're fighting one-on-one with someone, okay, maybe wrestling or maybe jiu-jitsu. So it depends on the context. Honestly, if you want to be really good to defend yourself, MMA and learn it all. Yeah. Why wouldn't
you? Who are some of the best? Sorry, who are some of the talents in the gym we should be looking out for? So I'm guessing some of the younger talents. You mentioned Kalen. You mentioned
Kalen Lochran and Kieran Lochran are both going to be in UFC, and they'll be UFC champions.
Wow, I'm hype. I'm hot on both of them. I've watched both fights.
Oh, yeah, you fucking pervert.
But I think both of them are very talented, and Kalen is big for his weight as well, isn't he? He's big.
They're hard workers. That's what I see. I see hard workers and I see passion. I don't see that from a lot of people. You don't see that level of passion from people, because I can see it, because I can relate to it. When I first moved over, I guess I still have it now, but like I can see that you fucking just want to do it all day, every day, and just dedicate to it and watching every single thing you can. That's what I was, and when I first moved over, and I see that in them. And the highlight for me with Kalen in particular, Keenan, I met Kieran from his brother, and I can see he's the exact same. So that's why I'm like fucking all for Kieran as well. But I first met Kieran because I seen a fight of his in Clan Wars early, and he blew his knee out in the fight. He hobbled into the corner and he drew the opponent on, and he hit the opponent with a right hook and knocked the opponent clean out with one knee, with like one leg. He was standing on one leg and he knocked the guy out. He could have easily quit and lay on the ground, but he said, "Come on, the fuck," and knocked the guy out with one hand, right hook. He's a talent. He's a hard worker. Kieran as well. Kieran is so athletic and strong for his weight. He fights at 145, but he's so strong. His brother, yes, brother's like his brother. Well, to be fair, his brother's a bantamweight, and he's stronger than some welterweights. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll go all the way.
And I've seen a couple of their fights. To be fair, one of them I was there in Probellum when both of them were fighting, and the speed, the hand speed is just unbelievable. And I'd say the young lads as well now, I think 19, 20, 21.
Yeah, that's the mindset. Look, everything can be taught.
Yeah.
You can teach boxing, you can teach wrestling, you can teach Muay Thai, you can teach that. It's just their attitude. They love fighting and they're hardworking. You can't ask for more than that. So they can go all the way.
Dedication as well, as you mentioned. Doing
well, they moved country for it. They moved the Liverpool for it. They've got a family. They love where they live back in Ireland. They love it. They are so patriotic. You'll never meet 2 lads who are more patriotic of their country, but they know they have to sacrifice that in order to achieve something higher.
Yeah.
And that's why they're going to be that's why they're going to be really good.
Yeah, it's, as I say, that there's a lot of talent in Carbon coming through as well, isn't there? It's not just who's there already at the top. I mean, for me, I can see Raf going to the UFC 100%.
Yeah, oh no, 100%. Oh no, 100%. Yeah. Raf can go all the way.
I think he's real talent. I see a lot of Terry in him. Just it's spitting of both of them. I just see the ways, the style is just.
The thing with Raf as well, though, he's fucking one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Like, he deserves it. Like, he just deserves it. He's just a lovely kid. Like, you know, way some people just have a magnetic sort of, a nice sort of aura to them.
Yeah.
You just know he's just got a lovely aura to him. He's just like a nice kid. He's just he's a nice lad. But fucking really, really good for a bantamweight. Again, so strong, really technical. Like, I can spar him, and he's not a depth strength wise or skill wise or any way, shape or form. He's fucking really good. Really good.
Yeah, I'll say it's an exciting time for Carbon at the moment, I think, with everything reopening and shows being put back on and people starting to get back to a routine. Obviously, you got Darren, who is fighting in August at the moment. I have. I mean, it seems speculations that might be changing, but I don't know what's the truth behind it. But it's an incredible. Like I say, you got Darren, Grundy, and Tom all in the UFC at the moment. But the people who have been in the UFC as well, have all been at a high level. Do you know what I mean? I think Terry got into top 10, didn't he? I'm right thinking top 10?
Yeah, well, Terry would have been world champion. Terry, one of the best fighters I've ever met in my life. He is the best fighter I've ever trained with.
Wow. And as I say, I mean, you got world champions around you everywhere. And it's just, I think a lot of it's fight IQ as well, isn't it? Fight IQ and the intelligence.
Well, it's how Colin teaches. Colin teaches in, I'm not going to give away his tactics. But
No, of course.
He teaches differently than anyone else. Do you know what I mean? He teaches you how to think for yourself rather than putting thoughts in your head. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does make a lot of sense, to be fair with you. And there's a question about weight loss on here as well. What's the best diet for sustainable weight loss and why? I think we both probably have the same answer here, to be fair with you.
Yeah. Well, all it's calorie deficit, isn't it? Like, it's about a diet. Like, there's no special diet. It's only the diet you can adhere to. So, I mean, it's a diet you can adhere to. But I see weight loss as like taking a band-aid off, like a plaster off. You don't take it off slowly, you take it off nice and fast. And that's why I do things in 12-week slots with my clients, because I want to drop as much weight as possible in a short piece of time and then get them to sort of sustain that comfortably then afterwards. There's a few tactics you have to do that. If you just come off a diet and then just fucking start binging, you'll just fucking crack and you'll just gain all the weight back again. If you do it intelligently, and you reverse diet, you can keep all your gains, you can keep all your weight loss off. So I think there's a lot of, I think it's simple saying just calorie deficit, but a lot of the time people do that for a long time and end up getting bored of it.
Yeah.
And then they spend 2 years in a calorie deficit and like they end up going, the body starts metabolically adapting to low calories and they have to go lower and lower and lower and lower. So I see as the pain of losing the weight in 12 weeks, your body's going to metabolically adapt to that low calories anyway. So you reverse diet and then you go back on another diet phase again. So it needs done in stages, I think. A lot of people are now talking about like, oh, you know, sustainable and gentle weight loss over a long space of time, and that is never my opinion, because there's a study done by Natal et al. Or something, and I spoke about how there was two groups of people, and one group lost weight very quickly over a short space of time, and the other group lost weight sort of sustainably over a space of time, and the people who lost weight quicker kept the weight off for a longer amount of time. So I think it depends on your own mindset. I don't think it suits everyone to lose weight quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think it suits everyone. So not everyone has that mindset, but I know people like me, my mindset of being ambitious and want to get shit done quickly and wanting to do it, I think it suits my mindset. But then again, that's why I book consultations with people on the phone, because you need to know whether people are suitable for your program or not. So there is no one diet that suits. It's whatever diet suits you, and it's up to you to find that out, and that's up to a good coach. So the answer to that is get a good coach.
Yeah, and it's one of them. You see a lot of people who will keep people on for long term, and
you just want a client. I say to people, I want to work for 12. I want to work with people for 12 weeks, and then when I say, right, bye, fuck off, I don't want to work with you no more. Because if I do my job properly, you don't need me more than 12 weeks.
Yeah,
you don't need me. Yeah, I've taught you for 12 weeks. See you later. Bye. I'd love the money. Don't get me wrong. I'd love the retainer money for like having you as a monthly client, and I do have monthly clients. But like, if I do my job properly, you don't need me.
Yeah. And I'm pretty similar to you. I've got some clients who I see monthly. I've got some clients that are just doing for 90 days, 12 weeks, exactly the same. And then that's everything you need sorted in a box. There you go, sort of thing. And it's also the power of being able to say no to someone. Like, there you go, you're done. You've been able to do it. I think that's very powerful, because a lot of people and a lot of Instagram fucking blue ticks and all this will sell their product for a string them along. Do you know what I mean? Losing.
Yeah.
It's
the only way I would stay with someone for like a longer space of time is if they had mental not mental issues, but they needed the accountability and support and the community aspect. People stay for that. So it's less about the coaching end, and it's more about having somewhere there beside you the whole time. So it's why I do work with people on a month-to-month basis, because some people need that helping hand and someone to talk to, someone literally to check in with them every week and go, how are you? How's your day? How are we keeping? So that could be important as well. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Ali, it's been amazing.
Appreciate
Before
it.
you go, I've got one question because I ask everyone. All right. And the thing is, you're going to put this into practice. A lot of people will not. What is your walk-on song when you go into the octagon? What's going to be your walkout song?
You see, I'm still undecided.
Well, let's decide now. Let's help.
My walkout tune, my original walkout tune, is a song called Carte Blanche by Veraconda. Right. Okay, so I don't know if you know what Ferry Corson is. Okay. He's a trance DJ, and he created a song called Carte Blanche, and that was one of the first songs I walked out to years ago, and I danced to it when I walked out. So now I just walk out to it. But I also wanted to maybe go out to Return of the Mac.
Okay.
By Mark Morrison. And then also there's other songs I listen to like during the day, and I think, oh fuck, that's a banging tune. That's a tune. I'd love to walk out to that. So like, there's 101 things I'd love to walk out to, but I haven't decided yet, and I probably won't either. Like I'm quite bipolar in my decision making. Do you know what I mean? Like 1 minute I'll think one thing, and next thing I like to leave things to the last minute before I make a decision. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm in a restaurant and someone goes, "What are you ordering?" I won't pick until the lady comes over and asks me. When she asks me, then I make the decision off the fly. I couldn't sit there and tell you, yo, I'm choosing this, or this. I'm gonna wait till I come over and then pick something. Do you know what I mean? So
I think Return of the Mac would be great, especially with it being a part of the name, etc.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's
before you go as well. The hair. I've not mentioned it all through, but mate, last time I saw you, there was nothing there.
I know it's so long now. I've got to be. You know what? I don't have to be anything. I just like it longer. You know, I just like it longer.
Is that natural?
Yeah, it's naturally fun. This curl. I don't even. This it's just it fits naturally perfect. No, to be honest with me, I think it's a matter of I've got quite I've got scars and quite a like square face, so I think it softens the face, especially if I work with the public now, and especially like coach and
But it's just how curly it is. I've never seen it this way.
I know. Well, I'm Irish, so I've got like naturally curly hair. I don't know if that's a thing, but
it is now. And one last thing as well. What's going on with the modeling?
It's not. It's just fucking trying to promote your product. Do you know what I mean? Like that's all it is. It's just like less about modeling, more about promoting my product and having.
I'm waiting for Boohoo to have like a Ali 10 or something for 10%.
I know 10% off. You know what? Right. It's always been a goal of mine to like get onto the cover of Men's Health or something like that. So you never know. Maybe someday. But I don't think they want a scarred up MMA fighter with. I think it would put a lot of people off Men's Health. I think if anything, that's against Men's Health, having loads of scars and a battered body. I'm like the opposite of Men's Health. I'm like fucking what not to achieve, how not to get a fractured back.
You might get onto a Fighters Only or something.
Fuck that shit magazine. And what are you joking? Is that still going? Is that magazine still going?
I don't know. It was the first magazine that came to my head.
Yeah, I know.
I remember being a kid and like when Chuck Liddell and all them were on it. I remember going to Spa after school reading because obviously I'd spent all my money in the sweet shop. Didn't go to read it. Read all the important bits and put it back and carry on.
That's what. Yeah. That's why I remember doing that myself as a kid. Yeah, I've done that myself to be fair. So yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on.
No,
before you go, plug away, Al. Plug away anything you need to plug. Obviously, you've got your fight coming up, but
I don't know what, to be honest. If anyone enjoyed the interview, like, just follow me on Instagram, Ali, ALIMACLEANS, Ali Macleans. And apart from that, yeah, I don't really.
No.
I'm not vlog really right now. I'm just focusing on this fight. So yeah.
And I can't wait. And I said to you, when I saw the announcement, I messaged you straight away. I was like, nah, this is too good to be true. Because I'm so excited for it. It's like really weird. Like, I was excited for when Paul returned, but I think I'm a little bit more excited now because it's been such a layoff.
You know what? Until I get in that cage,
yeah,
I'm giddy. You'll probably see. I'll have a tear in my eye backstage, like 100%. I'll have a tear in my eye, but and a tear afterwards. But until I get in that cage, I won't be getting giddy or anything like that. When people say, "Are you excited? Are you pumped up?" I'm like, I've been doing this for like
this long,
16 years now, like fighting. So, it's like I may have taken a long layoff, but I've been here so many times. When I get in that cage, then that's when you'll see me excited. That's when you see me buzzing because I'm actually going to have a go. Until it gets to that stage, I know there's a lot of variables that I need to keep in place before that stage. So I have to keep, like stoic philosophy, I have to keep sort of level-headed along the line. I can't be too happy, can't be too sad. I have to keep sort of level-headed.
Yeah. And am I right in thinking there'll be a link for people to buy it and stuff as well?
Yes. So if people go onto my Instagram, I'll have a link to the pay-per-view. So if people are interested in seeing me cause violence,
and I guarantee to be violence.
Oh, it's definitely violence.
Guaranteed to be violence.
Definitely see me getting punched in the face.
I will definitely be purchasing this because I'm hoping there'll be a couple of good other names on there as well.
I think Tierna's fighting as well.
Yes, I mean, there we go. So, yeah, Ali, thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. And anyone who has enjoyed this episode, please give a 5-star rating on Apple because it helps with viewings and my ratings in the charts.
Yeah.
Yeah.